Okay, so I've got 3 ideas and they're kind of like vastly different between the 2. And this first one, it isn't set in stone whether it's a trailer or a short film, but this is the one I'm less lenient towards, so I'm going to say it first. It's about a girl who's in her parents' room for some reason, searching for something that she needs or whatever, like a hairdryer or something, I don't know, just generic. And she comes across a stack of tattered papers like under the bed or something. And they all say missing girl, and on the front there's a picture of her. So it's kind of going to follow the narrative of how did this happen, where's she from, who are her real parents, that kind of thing. But it's really omniscient, so you never really find out, if that kind of makes sense. I haven't really thought about the execution of it, so I'm not really sure on the kind of shots or whether I want it to be a trailer or a music video. Trailer or short film, as I said, but yeah, that's the first idea. And then the second idea, this one would be a short film, and it's from the point of view of a child's imaginary friend, and it's basically from the child's young age with her imaginary friend, and as the child's growing up doing all the regular teenage things, so like going out with her friends, partying, the imaginary friend begins to like fade away, and it's becoming less and less, the child becomes less and less reliant on her imaginary friend, and it's sort of about the progression of, it's sort of like a coming of age story sort of thing, on how the child's developing and becoming less reliant on the imaginary friend. And then the third idea is a music video, so I've kind of got like a variation of ideas. I'm not set in stone what I want to do yet, as you can probably tell. And this one is kind of a bit nitty gritty, because I don't really like the whole ends happy or whatever, because I love a bit of doom and gloom. So it starts off with a boy and a girl in a relationship, probably teenagers, and she finds out she's pregnant and wants an abortion, but her parents are like deeply religious and want her to keep the child. So it's basically her going through a process of how she's going to get rid of it, but by herself without her parents knowing. So it's kind of like really hits home. It's really quite depressing, and I'm not sure on how I want it to end, but it could end with her death or like just cliffhanger kind of thing. But I'm not really sure. So yeah. What do you guys think?
Oh, I love every one of those.
Thanks.
But I really like the second one's really different.
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
And you could film that really, really nicely, I think. Like, I'm thinking of like mirror shots where you've got like the child talking to their imaginary friend and then turning around and like pointing to a mirror, and then you see them turn around and it's just the child. So it's really obvious that...
I did like that one because it's sort of like not the sort of thing that I do.
Yeah.
I don't really like the whole, oh, children all happy kind of stuff. So I kind of thought it was a bit out of my depth.
Yeah.
Challenge myself.
I think it'd be quite fun as well finding actors that look similar. I think you'd have a fun time doing that.
Yeah.
Would you have the imaginary friend ageing with them?
Yeah. So they wouldn't... It would be like the imaginary friend is growing up with the child, but as the child's growing up, the imaginary friend's becoming more separated and like out of the picture, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. How would you show that they're kind of becoming less important? Would you do it like with proxemics, as in how close they are? Would you fade the footage of them, or have you
I was thinking more of
that?
like, in terms of mise en scène, change of clothing, so becoming darker clothing, so from the start when they're children they wear really bright clothing, and as they grow up the imaginary friend's wearing dark clothing, or some sort of editing technique where they're becoming less and less visible, or anything really. It could vary, to be honest.
Well, that's something you can think about at the next stage. That's
so
the
I'm
one
not really set in stone on any particular idea, but yeah.
So while we're talking about that one, any other comments on that? Anyone else particularly passionate? They think that's really good, or they think, I wouldn't do that, and this is why?
I do really like your second idea, and I think it'd be really cool, especially what Megan said about the mirror shots, and that's really cool. But also, I know you said you weren't partial to the first idea, but I thought it was really interesting, especially like imagining someone finding these posters of themselves and then going on that like self-discovery journey. I think if I was going to do that, I would do it in a short film.
Yeah, I did lean more towards the short film, but I said trailer because it could kind of be either, but yeah.
Yeah, and short films also don't need to have a final resolution.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because with the trailer it's just sort of like
Yeah,
Yeah, a bit random.
trailers don't need to have a resolution either, but they also don't necessarily need to follow a narrative. Whereas you could tell that more as a narrative in a short film. I think Morgan's instinct there is right,
Yeah.
and yours, yeah. If you go for it, but yeah, it's a nice idea.
What
need-
theme would you go for? Like, what genre? Is
Which
it more
one?
Thriller, the first one.
Yeah, I was thinking more thriller, like
Yeah.
omniscient, kind of a bit dark, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I think the second one's more challenging. I think
Yeah.
you'll be able to show more skill in the second one and how you like form shots and stuff. And you can show us some editing as well.
Yeah.
The second one would be
It's
I'm
very
kind of leaning
different.
towards that one, so I don't know. But it depends on what happens. Like, obviously, I keep saying I'm not set in stone because I'm not. I'll just sort of do what I want.
How about the third one? What do we think about that?
Third one, it's got a really interesting narrative to it, really interesting, and I think it would work nicely with the music video.
Yeah.
I think it would give you an opportunity to do lots of very nice, artistically extreme close-up shots and use of colour. I wouldn't have her die at the end, but I wouldn't have it end happily.
Yeah. I didn't want it to end happily, so that's why I said it could end in a death, but I didn't want it to end happily because I like the whole demon Greek
and it could be different as well. Not ending like in a happy ending. It's just it.
Yeah, it's a bit been there, done that.
Yeah.
Or you could have her walking into the clinic or out of the clinic on her own, and then you just have the close-up of her wiping a tear away at the end, or something equally depressing. But yeah, I think having her die is a bit of an I think that would be the lasting thing that people would remember from it, where actually you want them to remember the pain the whole way through,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, if you were to do one of the three, everyone who's not Holly, which one would you do?
Second one.
Everyone else?
Yeah, I'm a bit
I think-
torn as well.
Second could be shot
I would say second or third, but second.
What's your instinct, Holes?
Personally, my favourite one is the second one because I do think it will challenge me more, and it's not the sort of thing that I'd usually do. Like, I don't like children, and I don't like children, and I don't really like a happy ending. So it's kind of incorporating.
Is it a happy ending?
No, it's not a happy ending, but like it's kind of happy.
Not
I don't know.
Doom, like.
Yeah, it's not as doom and gloom as I'd like. But
Yeah, because it's not death or abortion or drug abuse.
you know. But yeah, I do like the other two ideas, but I'm kind of swaying towards the second one mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to ask? Anything else anyone wants to say? Okay, thanks, Holly.